Aloha mai kākou o ke ia o Lokelani I ke ia vikio e ho'oma'a kākou I ka pepeke painu me ka maka ua. So we're going to go over the verb tenses. And specifically in this video, I'm going to go over with you the ua, verb, sentence, pattern, structure, maka, painu, ua. As I promised, this video is going to be a part of a series of videos that I'm doing, all focusing on helping you just spit your verb patterns out. Just spit it, spit it. And I believe that this is probably one of the hardest ones to get in class because by definition, a verb pattern is you actually doing something. You know, a verb pattern is you actioning past, present, and tense. So when you're in a classroom setting, it can be kind of difficult. You have to trick your brain if you really want your brain to apple the pattern and get it in so you can say it when you're in real life. Other than that, it's just hypothetical. It's just you're in class and you're learning it, and then when you go on the street or when people try to have a conversation with you and they ask you, hey, he hakau hana, he hakau ihana, what you did, then you're just like, I have no idea how to say what I did this morning. I have no idea how to say what I'm doing right now. I have no idea how to say what I'm gonna do tonight. And then it's just full on deer in headlights. So all of these exercises is to support you, to help you to getting comfortable and getting your mind into that place where, okay, the action is here and I'm asked a question and it comes out and I'm just going to go back and forth. I really want you to practice your fluency. I want you to practice speaking out loud. I want you to practice pukaing those words out of your mouth, because the more you do it over and over and over, and the better you get. Let me just tell you something. If you look at somebody and you're like, wow, I wish I could speak like them, I guarantee you they said the thing that they're saying probably 1,000 times. So the hard thing with us is that we're in class, or you go to a class and that's the place you're learning it. You're in a classroom of other students, which means you're not even going to have that chance to say it probably, unless you're called on, or unless, you really kind of like fight your way to be able to say it. Other than that, the easy route is just to sit in the classroom, get your pen and paper, and kind of say it under your breath. But that's never really going to help you. So when you're doing these exercises with me, I want you to say it loud. I want you to say it clear. I want you to pause the video when you need to pause the video so you can say it again. And something that I have special is that I've actually created worksheets for you to go over. And I'm going to try to create those worksheets. I got the ua. I'm going to have the worksheet ready for kene, which is the present, and then eana into the future. So I'm going to have 2 of the worksheets. The first worksheet is going to have no answers. So no unuhi on the other side. I'm going to give it to you maka olelo pelekania, and you will have to translate it maka olelo Hawaii. But I will give you the answer sheet as well, so that you can, look over when you're practicing and when you're studying. So I do believe in study. I know all the time I say, get out the pen and paper, throw that paper away, turn that paper over, get rid of the pen, because the most valuable part of you learning, the most value you have is your actual practice and speaking. So I try to take away that pen and paper from you, because once you get stuck to it, it's just so difficult. However, of course you have to study. If you didn't study, you wouldn't have knowledge, right? So I want you to use my worksheets, and I want you to print them up and take your pen to paper and try to figure it out and see how close you can get to the answer sheet. Got it? Okay, awesome. E ho'omaka kako, no ka ho'oma'a I ka pepeke painu me ka ua pattern. Makaukau? Alrighty. The child went to school. The child went to school. Did you say ua hele ke keiki I ke kula? Did you just stare at me like a deer in headlights? Did you get freaked out? Did you get pu'iwa? Did you pause the phone and say, okay, let me figure this out, and try to talk it through? Whatever actions you're doing, you're got to do it by yourself. You got to do it at home. So I want you to do the thing that's going to help you the most. The child went to school. You're going to start with ua and you're going to go into the verb. Whenever you want to say something about going into action, remember you start with ua and you go into the verb. If it is a past tense, you start with ua, you go into the verb. even in our class, when we do this, it's still hard for people not to be super pu'iwa when, asked to translate into verb sentences, because I'll tell you why. The ua has no literal translation into the English side, right? So it's like ua means past tense, but there's no literal translation. Like there's no word on the English, the child went to school. There's like no ua there. Ua just marks the pattern in the Hawaiian language. So that's what makes it difficult, because when people hear the child went to school, they're like, child, keiki, kekahi keiki, hele, like they start translating word for word. But with all of our markers, there's no literal translation. So it's something that we have to practice, and we're going to go through this. I think I have like 20 exercises. So let's do it together. Ready? The child went to school. You started with ua, verb, and then you went on into the rest of your sentence. I ke kula. Hanaho. Ua, hele, ke keiki, I ke kula. Next. The brother moved the car. Start with ua. Ne'e, move. Ka hoaha nau I ke ka'a. I ke ka'a. Hanaho. Ua ne'e ka hoaha nau I ke ka'a. Hanaho. Ua ne'e ka hoaha nau I ke ka'a. Hanaho. Ua ne'e ka hoaha nau I ke ka'a. She cleaned the house. Always start with ua, verb. So what's the verb there? Cleaned. How do you say that, ma olelo Hawaii? Did you say ho'o ma'e ma'e or ma'e ma'e? If you did, you are correct. And if you didn't know the word for clean, it's ho'o ma'e ma'e or ma'e ma'e. Please write that on a piece of paper. Please add that to your vocabulary. Hanaho. She cleaned the house yesterday. Ua, verb. Pronoun. Ua ho'o ma'e ma'e oia I ka hale. And not yesterday. We don't have to do yesterday. Okay, hanaho. She cleaned the house. Ua ho'o ma'e ma'e oia I ka hale. Hanaho. Ua ho'o ma'e ma'e oia I ka hale. Hanaho. Ua ho'o ma'e ma'e oia I ka hale. I drove to Makaha. Ua. Did you say Kalaiva? Kalaiva. Oh. I Makaha. Hanaho. I drove to Makaha. Your turn. Hanaho. I drove to Makaha. Ua kalaiva o I 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 hea. Ua kalaiva o I hea. Wala o mai. Ua kalaiva o I Makaha. E nina o na vau ia oi. Ua kalaiva o I hea. Where you in drive? Hanaho. Ua kalaiva o I hea. Did you answer me? Did you tell me you drove to Makaha? Hanaho. Ua kalaiva o I hea. Me ka leo nui. Hanaho. Ua kalaiva o I hea. Next. You're going to say, I went preaching. I went preaching. Ha'i e wanelio. 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 It's my version of Hawaiian Sign Language. Phonics. E wanelio. Ha'i e wanelio is preaching. Wala o mai. I went preaching. Hanaho. I went preaching. Ua hele au I ka ha'i e winalio. Have to. I ka ha'i e winalio. I ka ha'i e winalio. Valao mai. I ka ha'i e wanelio. Valao mai. I ka ha'i e wanelio. Hanaho. E wanelio. Hanaho. E wanelio. Together. I ka ha'i e wanelio. Now I went preaching. Valao mai ka mala olelo piha. Ua hele au I ka ha'i e wanalio. Hanaho. Ua hele au I ka ha'i e wanalio. Hanaho. Ua hele au I ka ha'i e wanalio. So e ninau vau ya oi I ke ia ninau. He hakau I hana. What did you do? He hakau I hana. Pane mai. Tell me that you went preaching. Next, we ate at Zippy's. We ate at Zippy's. Start with ua. Ai. Ua ai. All of us. Kako I Zippy's. Valao mai. Ua ai 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 kako I Zippy's. So e ninau na vau ya oi I ka ninau. Ua ai kako I hea. But I just asked, where did we eat? Oh, I could ask that question because I use kako, which is inclusive of myself, which means I'm asking you, where did we eat again? That's probably the only case I would ask that, because other than that, I wouldn't say, where did we eat? Because I would know, because I would have been there. So it's like, ua ai kako I hea? Pane mai. Answer. Pane mai. Ua ai kako I hea? Pane mai. Ua ai kako I Zippy's. Next, Uncle Pete made beef stew. Do you know the word for making food? Do you know what that word is? Tell me. Try. Say louder. Making food. When you say making food, when you're referencing making food, you don't hana the food. You ho'omakoko ka food. Ho'omakoko I ka mea ai. So this is the pepeke. Pepeke is stew. So how do you say Uncle Pete made beefy stew? How do you say Uncle Pete made beef stew? Vala'au mai. Ua ho'omakoko o Anakala Pete, treating Anakala Pete as a name. I ka pepeke. Vala'au mai. Prepare o Anakala Pete I ka pepeke. Vala'au mai. Ua ho'omakoko o Anakala Pete I ka pepeke. I ka pepeke. Vala'au mai. Ua ho'omakoko o Anakala Pete I ka pepeke. Vala'au mai. Me ka leo nui, come on, make it flow. Vala'au mai. Ua ho'omakoko o Anakala Pete I ka pepeke. What is PP? Let's check that out. Practice it. I'm giving you a second. Beefy. I use vehevehe.org all the time. I use my dictionary all the time. Oh, there's no PP. Sorry, I led you astray. It's pipi. Kalamai. Sometimes I get carried away. Steg chokahakos on everything. PP. What is PP then? There is a PP. I'll tell you what that PP. Ooh, stingy. stingy. P, because P. So he made the stingy beef, if we want to call it pepeke. Oh, stinginess, stingy. P. Ho'opi is to be stingy. Oh, that's a good one, yeah. You know, they say, oh, you tight are you? You chang are you? You know, like the kind. You know, like the kind. Pitch in. So that's P. Okay, so it's pepeke. Walau mai, pepeke. Ku does have a kahako. Maluna oka u. Pepeke. Pepeke. Walau mai. Pepeke. Okay, Uncle, enina vo ya oi kanina o. He haka mea a ana kalapi I ho'omaka ukawai. He haka mea a ana kalapi I ho'omaka ukawai. He haka mea a ana kalapi I ho'omaka ukawai. So obviously you don't know exactly what I'm saying because you didn't learn the sentence that I'm asking you, but when you use your powers of reasoning, I have asked you every other question, just the question that will lead to the answer. So I'm asking you, what did Uncle Pete make? Sometimes we get so pu'iva when we're having conversation with people that when somebody asks you something that is super, super obvious what the question is, you still might get pu'iva. You still might become a deer in headlights because you're not using this, you're not using your power of reasoning to like, hey, what is they trying to say? Like, I'm in this situation. Let's say I'm eating something, okay? Or let's say you're eating something. I look at you and I'm like, oh, hea kela. Well, you know what that is. Or hea kena. You know what that is. I'm asking you, what is that? But just to give you that example, that's a pretty obvious thing, right? You stay eating like this. You stay eating and I go, oh, hea kena. But even in that case, sometimes we get freaked out or we don't want to guess what it is, or it's just deer in headlights. So the more we can practice here, the more you can vala'au with me, then hopefully that gives you more confidence after a while to, kind of, I don't want to say assume, but kind of look at the context that somebody who's speaking Hawaiian to you is trying to communicate with you. And more than likely, the person who is trying to communicate with you understands that you don't understand Hawaiian. Like, it's your friend that's trying to communicate with you. You ain't at the grocery store and somebody trying to tap you on the shoulder and ask you a question about the bread, olelo Hawaii. So try to do that. Free yourself and look at the context by which it's coming. So, e nina wau ya oi I ka nina o. He aha ka mea a ana kalapi I ho'omaka kauai. Tell me, Uncle Pete made beef stew. Hana ho. Ua ho'omaka o ana kalapi I ka pepeke. Hana ho. Ua ho'omaka o ana kalapi I ka pepeke. Hana ho. Ua ho'omaka o ana kalapi I ka pepeke. Alrighty. Next. Ue Kalani made soup. Ua made ho'omaka o Ue Kalani I ke kupa. Hana ho. Ua ho'omaka o Ue Kalani I ke kupa. Hana ho. Ua ho'omaka o Ue Kalani I ke kupa. Hana ho. Me ka leo nui. Mai ka iloa. Lanakila drove the car. Wala'o mai ma ka olelo Hawaii. Lanakila drove the car. Did you say ua kalaiwa o Lanakila I ke ka'a? Wala'o mai. Ua kalaiwa o Lanakila I ke ka'a. Wala'o mai. Ua kalaiwa o Lanakila I ke ka'a. Hana ho. Me ka leo nui. E ninau ana wau ia oi I ka ninau. O wei ka mea I kalaiwa I ke ka'a. Ua pane oi? Did you answer? Hana ho, e ninau wau ia oi I ka ninau. O wai ka mea I ka laiwa I ke kaa. Hana ho, e ninau wau ia oi I ka ninau. O wai ka mea I ka laiwa I ke kaa. Ua ka laiwa o lana kila I ke kaa. Walao mai, ua ka laiwa o lana kila I ke kaa. Walao mai, ua ka laiwa o lana kila I ke kaa. Mai kai loa no oi, mai kai loa. La'a spoke to the Hawaiian man. La'a spoke to the Hawaiian man. Ua, wala'au, olelo, kamailio. Ua wala'au o la'a I ke kane Hawaii. Wala'au mai. Ua wala'au o la'a I ke kane Hawaii. E ninau wau ia oi. Ua wala'au o la'a Iawai. Ua wala'au o la'a Iawai. Pane mai. Answer me. Ua wala'au o la'a Iawai. Kala mai with my intonations. Ua pane o ia'u? Did you answer me? Wala'au mai. Oh, e ninau wau ia oi. Ma kaukau, get ready. You're going to answer me. La'a spoke to the Hawaiian man. Ma kaukau, I'm going to ask you. Who did La'a speak to? Ua wala'au o la'a Iawai. Good job. The woman came to the meeting. The woman came to the meeting. Ua hele mai ka wahine I ka halawai. Wala'au mai. The woman came to the meeting. Hana ho. Ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. Ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. Ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. You hear those two kahakos above the halawai? It's not ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. It's ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. And then e ninau wau ia oi. O wai ka mea I hele I ka halawai. O wai ka mea I hele I ka halawai. E ninau wau ia oi. Hana ho, hana ho. E ninau wau ia oi. O wai ka mea I hele I ka halawai. Oh, ua hele ka wahine I ka halawai. Ah, maika I loa. Okay. Ho'okahi I koe. One left over. I ate the food. I ate the food. With the ua pattern, pehea e olelo ai. I ate the food. Did you say it? Ua ai au I ka mea ai. Ua ai au I ka mea ai. Walau mai. Ua ai au I ka mea ai. Ua ai au I ka mea ai. Walau mai. Ua ai au I ka mea ai. Ua ai au I ka mea ai. E ninau wau ia oi? He aha kau I ai. He aha kau I ai ai. He aha kau I ai ai. Okay la ka puana polole. He aha kau I ai ai. Walau mai. Pane mai. Pane, answer me. He aha kau I ai ai. What you want to eat? I ate the food. I ate the food on the table. Walau mai. I ate the food on the table. He aha kau I ai ai. Oh, a ole ai ai. He aha kau I ai. He aha kau I ai. Well, don't say that because I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you, what did you eat? He aha kau I ai. Now you answer me. I ate the food on the table. Ua ai au I ka mea ai ma ke pā kaukau. Or I ke pā kaukau. Walau mai? Ua ai au I ka mea ai I ke pā kaukau. Walau mai? Ua ai au I ka mea ai I ke pā kaukau. Walau mai? I ate the food on the table. Alrighty. Mahalo nui loa no ka ho'oma'a mea u hau oli no wau I ka ho'oma'a ia oi. Holomua no holomua no oi I ka a'o mai ana I ka olelo Hawaii. Please check out your worksheets. Please print it up. Please do whatever you need to do. Please go over this over and over so you can practice your wala'au with me. Okay, ahui ho.